So you can also see he's now down to 38%. His shields are down. Go on, Eddie.
This is why I use it.
Yeah, ram him. Hooray! We're playing live online. If it goes wrong, fingers crossed it won't, but I always like taking risks. Okay, so in the game, we're starting a place called Weird. Some may know it from the beta. We're in quite a rich station here. So if we look at our ship, we've got an Eagle, which is a combat-leaning ship. So for those who don't know about the game, you start off with a small amount of money, a small ship, and you have to make your way in the world. You can do whatever you like. If it involves killing people, if it involves trading goods, there are lots of dull ways of doing things and exciting ways of doing things. You can do missions for the military, you can shaft people, you can work with your friends, you can do what you like. Elite back in the 1980s was the first open world game and inspired other games, so I'm told, like things like GTA. But it's fantastic to come back to this kind of game after so long. So here we see the different hard points. Your ship has different points on it where you can attach weapons. We call them hard points. Here we see some lasers. You can sacrifice a bit of size of the weapon to make them gimbal so they can do auto-aim. So all of these trade-offs, the younger people in the audience won't bother with that because they'll want big guns. Certainly our kids are absolutely spot on at aiming, whereas people like me, who's a bit dozy, I need the gimbaled weapons to help me. So the point about this is you can make sure you can have your ship looking your way. So as you see now in the beta, all those who are playing it now, you see quite a range of ships. So let's launch out to the station. So this is a game where, at its heart, is flying a ship and fighting against other ships. Is something you do a lot of. And so the Eagle is a very good ship for that. Here we see the inside of a space station, a giant great thing. You can see palm trees and things like this. It's got air in it. It would actually be quite warm. One of the things in space is heat. Heat's something that's very, very hard to get rid of. So here we're leaving the station. There's this little central slot. The whole thing rotates to give a low gravity inside. If you've seen films like 2001, that's why it rotates, so you can walk around the inside. Now, you see all those stars in the star field in the background. Every single one you can see here is real. What I mean is it's a real star in the night sky, and you can visit it in the game. Most of those will have planets. We've typed in a huge number of these. So in the night sky, with the naked eye, you can see between 6,000 and 7,000 different stars. All of those are in the game. And with telescopes, you can see some 150, 160,000. All of those are in the game as well. And beyond that, we have the whole galaxy, which we make up procedurally, which you'll see in a bit. So if you look around this station, you'll see there are these vents here that vent heat. They're not solar cells. And then this is where people live. So if Eddie can fly reasonably close to those, you'll see inside there are all sorts of trees, houses, things like that. The rotation gives you the gravity. And one of our backers worked out that one of those rings has the same playable area as a game called GTA 4, which I'm sure you know. Oh, high-risk strategy. What could possibly go wrong? Now, in the background, you can see the galaxy. They look like sort of mist. That mist is made up of stars. Those are all those stars that you can visit. So let's travel somewhere. Should we go to, let's get clear of the station and go to Vulcan. One of the tricks of this game is in space. Space is so big you can't really see things. You need a scanner, the thing in the middle of the screen, shows you where the other ships are. But if you're really cold, you don't show on that. So there are tricks you can do in the game where you wouldn't think you could do stealth in a spaceship. So all the backgrounds in the game we've made as real as we can. You can see the magnetic fields that we're modeling, those great big arcs. And it's so that, this is out there, this is real, and this is a real star. Now, one of the exciting things with this game is we've already got something like 75,000 people playing live online now. The galaxy is huge, so people can spread out, but a lot of the ships you meet will be real players. And what's really interesting is to see how that works from a gameplay point of view. So where we're going here is, the names sound boring. This is a mining place. Now, one of the things you can, lots of things you can discover to mine are a bit dull, but you can also find things like gold. Now, a lot of people will know about the gold rush that happened in California in the 1840s. Now, those sort of things happen in this game. And what happened in California was someone discovered gold in one of the streams. And a small group of people all decided to keep it secret. And which they did for a while. And then someone got drunk in a bar. Now with Elite, you will be able to find gold, because you can head out into the unknown and come back with it. But if someone sees you coming back with a cargo of gold, they will follow you, and eventually the news will get out. So this planet, you can see these beautiful rings here, is a volcanic world. And actually, volcanic worlds are very good, because this is a world that's had a collision with another world. It's an unstable system. And what that tends to mean is metals and things like that are available close to the surface. So there's a lot of mining going on here, and that's where we're going here. But if you do look at the rings, Eddie, if you could just pan over to the rings, you can see they are made up of billions of individual rocks, which you can go and fly in amongst. Anyway, we're going to head to the station. So with this, okay, we're just sort of being a glorified trucker here, taking stuff from A to B. And actually, we haven't been attacked yet. So this is the problems with live demos. It doesn't necessarily happen the way you expect. But we'll get some combat later. So this is another station, which we've arrived at. We've traveled out from that other place. Again, this is another real system that's in the night sky. As you see here, Eddie beautifully docking whilst we were talking. So you had to ask for permission, and it shows you a different landing pad. You can also see where other people are landing, not many landing here at the moment. But anyway, what's happened is we've been developing this game in public. When we went live with the alpha, the first thing we did was show some of the gameplay, the combat and all of this sort of thing. So we've gradually built right in the public eye, and we're now building out more and more content. Now we've landed, we can see where we are. Yeah, the galaxy map. Okay, so here we are at LHS 3006. If you want to turn the trade routes on, Eddie, we can see all the goods. So this is showing where ships are trading and what they're trading now. We can turn different goods on and off, but it shows this is so that you can plan what to do. The idea is you take a mission on, whether it's, espionage for the military or taking something from A to B. You can then, while you're doing it, you might as well take some cargo to make some extra money. Or you can take illegal stuff, which is also shown on here. Okay, so should we head out and do some combat? So what we're doing here is we're attending a distress signal. And we happen to know these things is where a federal distress signal, what they're really saying is come and help us, we're under attack. Now, in the system we're in is a federal system where there's a rebellion going on. So the federal forces are being fought by sort of local terrorists, local warlords, if you like. And we're going to go and join on one side or another. Which side should we fight on? The rebellion. Okay.
Is there right? Is there good?
Well, are they good? So the great thing with the game is the more people side on one side, that side's more likely to succeed. And what's quite interesting, following our newsletters, is most people sided with the rebellion.
Of course I do.
Until we published the newsletters. When they realized, actually, when they poisoned progenitor cells, which is a trade good that was very, very successful, that rich people use to prolong their lives, and a whole anti-capitalist came out, people started siding with the Federation. So the way I see it is it's very, very interesting from a social experiment point of view. You could make whichever side you like win. So here we had a federal warship and loads of ships attacking it. Let's go and attack those, Eddie. I don't care. I want to be on the side of the Federation because it's more fun. So as you can see here, we got some combat. They're shown in green because showing which side. And we've now flipped. So in fact, we can go and chase the Federal fighters if you like. Okay. So there we see a Federal fighter. You can see on your scanner all the various ships. Once you choose a side, choose an allegiance, it shows ships that are on your side in green and ships on the opposite side in red. We have all sorts of tools here. We've got 2 burst lasers and a pulse laser. The burst lasers are both gimbal, so this is the thing I said at the start, they give a little bit of auto aim. But we're taking quite a lot of damage here.
Come on, Eddie!
When you see the guys on the scanner flashing, that's when they're under attack. When they're attacking you. You can also see the trails. It ends up feeling a little bit like a World War II dogfight. Now, a lot of people have said, why can you hear sound in space? And the answer is because it's good, it sounds good, but also I heard a cockpit recording from an aeroplane that was in trouble where it says pull up and all sorts of alarms. I think the best way would be to play the sound in the cockpit in an understandable way. And I can't believe their sound systems in the year 3300 wouldn't be better than today. So we might as well make the sound accurate. Eddie's correctly diverted power to his shields, so the shields will recharge more quickly. But when you're in battle, you can divert power to the engines also, or the weapons. The other thing to consider is how hot the ship is. Currently we're at 73%, they're going up again as you fire weapons. That is also a problem, because when you start overheating, you've got to manage it. And if you can get that temperature right down, the other guys can't see you. Okay, so Eddie's shields have now recharged, so we've got more of a chance. You can see the shields taking the damage here on this Federal fighter, who's trying to get out of our gun sights. So you can also see he's now down to 38%. His shields are down. Go on, Eddie.
This is why they use me.
Yeah, ram him. Hooray! So you also see here, Eddie's essentially flying as a mercenary, and you get paid for every one of the other side you take out. And what will happen as one side's starting to lose, the amount the losing side will offer will go up. One of the things that I like in games is where there's a lot of depth that you can learn and say, oh, I can get a slight advantage there. You know, and other things that this little blue mark on your here shows you that's your best turn rate. So if you slow down, you can turn quicker and then speed up. You know, people learn that sort of thing quite quickly, but it's just getting used to your ship, and all the different ships feel quite different to each other as well. And it's that learning which I think is part of the experience. So there's a balance of trying to make it engaging and fun, and also to not be dumbed down. At Frontier, we've spent a long time doing a lot of big name games with big publishers like Microsoft. And one of the problems when you go to things like focus tests, you end up saying, oh, we need to make it easier, we need to make it more simple. And for me, that takes away some of the game, and a little something dies. With this, we want to make it challenging, interesting. You know, there's no shame in this. This is more like games were for me quite a while ago, in terms of the way they were aimed much more specifically. Because we're writing it for ourselves, we can judge for ourselves and say, actually, we'd like it a little bit more complicated. Some of the things that we've been talking about is the ability to walk around inside your ship, to board other ships, to land on airless worlds, eventually to land on atmospheric worlds, to explore them and all that sort of thing, things I mentioned before. they will be later DLC that hopefully people will get because it's so much fun. And thank you everyone else for coming. It's really appreciated you've come, and hopefully you enjoyed seeing. I'm sorry I was a bit disjointed in my descriptions.
That's perfectly fine. Well, we always try to wing it a little bit. Give it up here for David.
Thank you.
20 years of development.
Thank you very much.
And the game of every space player's dreams, pretty much here on this stage, and it's a real pleasure having it here, being played live in a seemingly infinite universe.